Hey everybody, here are two computer power supplies that I'm having to work on. Both of these have bad capacitors in them, and both of them, in both units, they are TPO capacitors that failed. First, let's look at this Hipro unit. Go ahead and pause to view the specs. Okay, so 300 watt power supply pulled out of an HP computer that was made in 2005. The power supply actually says 2005. As a matter of fact, these capacitors say November 2005 on them. And many on the internet have said that TPOs don't usually give you a problem in power supplies, but actually that's not always the case. As you see here, we have several TPOs that are bulging. Both the tall ones and a few of the others in there are bulging, so I'm going to have to replace them. And I mean, this power supply was still working. It didn't actually fail, but I saw these TPOs and they're bulging, so those need to get replaced. And I have to say, these Hipros are good quality units, but this one here was a pain to get apart. Really sophisticated and aggravating to tear apart. Normally when it comes to power supplies, you just pop the cover off, and usually 2 screws on the voltage selector switch, if there's one, and 4 screws on the PCB. But with this power supply, we had to disconnect the AC plug because it's integrated into the main portion of the unit. Had to disconnect the voltage selector switch as usual, and had to disconnect a daughter board that was attached to the fan that housed some of the filtering components. And of course, this one still has the LED attached, so this board can't get really detached from this portion of the clamshell. Anyways, let's now look at the Bestec ATX 25012Z unit. Now keep in mind, the Bestec ATX 25012E models are the ones that have the bad 5-volt standby circuit that tend to kill E-machines in some gateways. But these power supplies do not use a 2-transistor design 5-volt standby rail. They use a much better design. Anyways, here's the specs on this unit. Pause to view them. Okay. Have a look inside here. And as you can see, might be able to see, we have some bad TPO capacitors. Let me get a better view here. Okay, I can see one through the viewfinder here. Anyways, we have some TPOs that have blown their tops. And these particular Bestec units, some people have said that this is related to heat issues, because even the Jamicon capacitors would do this, especially the one next to the heatsink. But not only this one has done it, but there's another one located in this area, as you might be able to see. Look through one of the grates, you can see it right now. It's also blowing its top. And those failed capacitors are what caused this unit to fail. So this one was no longer working. Not to mention it also has some capacitors capacitors on the outputs. And with a previous experience, I had a Bestec ATX 25012Z that exploded, that actually had a capacitor explode in it. You know, it was one of the capsons. So I'm going to replace the capsons and the TPOs. Get this power supply back up and running. By the way, this one here was pulled from a 2008 compact. So this one here only had maybe 3 years of service. That's kind of sad in my book. I think power supply should last longer than that. But all it takes is bad caps to mess things up, even in a good quality power supply like this one. Like I say, this one here didn't actually stop working, but it wasn't far from it. Anyways, if you're interested in this topic, I have quite a few more videos on Cube Computer channel of me showing the internals of power supplies with bad capacitors. Feel free to go ahead and watch those videos too. Anyways, any questions or comments, let me know.